Aitg. It is Thursday morning, June 7th, and here to bring you the daily update for the members room here. For those of you who viewed yesterday's update that I put out, went over all the charts and some of the trades that were put on during yesterday's webinar. So today, just want to go through the charts again. Hopefully we can do a little bit quicker today than yesterday, and show you any adjustments we need to make, any new setups. And again, let me just reiterate some of the terminology that we're going to be using here in this manual SupDem trading system that I use. The entries, there's 3 of them. The first and best entry is what we call the new moon. And I will just go through these definitions, and as we come across them, I'll point them out to you. So the new moon entry is a new SupDem that paints within 3 to 6 candles, and it's coming from an opposite zone. All right, now again, the supply and demand zones, we're going to call those, just for simplicity reasons, the sell zone, which is red, and the buy zone, which is green. All right, entry number 2 would be what I call a step entry, and this is a new SupDem that paints in the same direction as the last. It's good for additional positions, and I don't think I have any yet, but I'll show you some examples of that. And then number 3 is what we call a breakout, and this is probably one of the most common entries that I have on my system, and it's a breakout of a zone of a buy or a sell zone without painting. So it's a pre-existing long-term zone that price breaks through, either long or short, and its target is still at 50%. All of our targets, we want to maintain 50%. Okay. All right, so let's go through the charts real quickly here. I'll try to do this as quickly as possible. We'll look at the Aussie CAD first, and we gotta move some things around here. All right, here's the Aussie CAD. We have a new SupDem that was painted since we put this on yesterday. This probably painted. I don't know what's going on with this other Indy that I put on this casino SupDem, but it seems that it doesn't want to stay on the charts for some reason. Again, these don't have any, they have no bearing in taking the positions or not. It's a reference list, know what buy or sell zones have been penetrated, or which ones are still what I call virgin. Again, if they're colored, these are virgin. If they're hollowed out, then they've been penetrated, violated. I'm sorry if that sounds kind of bad. Please forgive me. Okay, so here we go. Here's the Aussie CAD, and we originally had turned on. We had a breakout to the south, and I think we had a long to the north here. And right now, we're going to discount these 2, and we're going to map this out using our modified fib. And so this is, again, this is the best setup. This is a new moon here. Price came up from a buy zone, all right, past its 50%. That was a new moon entry right there. Oh no, I guess kind of waffled around, but anyway, this is truly a new moon right here. Price came up from a buy zone, created a new sell zone, and so this is one of those prime real estate entries here. So let's map this out, and you can see that we are still within our 25%. Oh. Let's see. Okay, so this is a good entry right here. We will take this. So we will hit, remember I'm using the Aitg DeMark SupDem trading system. So we will take a sell on this. We'll hit the sell button here, and this will sell. Well, it's right. The signal, the pair was already turned on, so it took the trade. Very good. So now we'll go ahead and bring down our stop loss to the 50% mark. Look, we're only looking for 50% of the move. All right. So we're in a good trade there. As soon as I take the trades, I turn off the button. Just as a quick reference, so I know that where the blue buttons are on, I'm actively still looking for an entry. All right. Next is the Aussie Swiss. And you can see here we had set up yesterday for breakouts to the north and to the south, breakout trades, entries. And looks like it's getting ready to hit. So we're going to leave this one alone and let it hit. And it's good for this is a little cheesy one, but 23 pips or whatever. Now you got to remember, if you guys are doing this, and when you start doing this, or if you start doing this, this is manual. You got to go in there once your trades are taken and set up your take profit targets. All right. Next one is the Aussie yen. You can see we were looking to break out north and south here of those two buy and sell zones, and price came right up to that. Well, actually, it's a new zone. Oh, and we missed this. Actually, I think this is a case here again, 3 to 6 candles. So let's just say at minimum 3 here. Let's put our. Again, you're not going to catch every train leaving the station. And if you miss a train, there's always another train leaving. That's guaranteed. Might be better to give ourselves a little more room here. There we go. We'll move that out. There we go. Okay, so just to illustrate this, again, this is a new moon coming from a buy zone, creates a new sell zone, a new moon entry, and 1, 2, 3. When this third candle opened, we're already below outside the 25% area. So, your call, but for me, I would not take this. I would leave this alone. Look for another train. But I will leave the pair turned on and still look for this this breakout to the south. That's a nice free fall there. 180, about 90 pip opportunity there. Again, what do we call this between the zones? No matter if it's a buy, sell, buy, between the zones is called the river. And we're looking for some Mississippi-wide rivers to get in. Okay. Next is the Aussie NAS. Nothing there. Well, again, there's coming up from a buy zone. We have a new moon right there, and yeah, someone reminded me to point out a step entry. Again, this is, you just eyeball this. You can see that when that third candle came out, you're at the 50% mark. So that's a no. That's a missed train there. Aussie US. Let's see here. I think this, yeah, we didn't have this. There was nothing there at the time yesterday. This was actually this was a new moon. Now this was even before. This was before we even set this up yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 candles. Yeah. 10 candles. That's 40 hours. Yeah, it's this was already painted when we started this up yesterday. So nothing on the Aussie US. The CAD Swiss. Looks like we had a breakout to the south, but we didn't turn this on because it's not a wide enough river for me. We're only talking, I don't know, 60 pips. It could have gone 30, but there's plenty of more to it. I kind of want to wait and let price take out some of these supply and these buy and sell orders. Um, it's got a wider river to jump into here. All right, CAD Swiss. Excuse me, I gotta get some wet the whistle here. All right, CAD Yen. Pretty much going sideways. Now, let's see. Here's a quick example of a step entry. I think I illustrated this yesterday, but I'll do it one more time for your benefit. Price came from a new moon, and it doesn't really have to be a new moon, but coming from a sell zone, either a new one or a current one, the price coming down, creating a new buy zone here. And of course, you would get into that for your 50%, and you can know it. And so this is where your reference point is. Let's go ahead and put our modified fibs in there. Okay, so without even looking at these next two steps here, we can see price. We got in here, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, somewhere around here, and price. Look at there you go, a new moon entry, 130 pips to 50%. But in its travel up there, you can see that it retraced and created a new another buy zone. Okay, this is opportunity here. What I would do, again, I would leave my original target at the 50% mark. When this thing painted somewhere around here, I would take a second position and create a stop loss or a take profit right to that point right there. So now I got two positions, and they're both will exit at the 50% move, at the 50% mark of the river there. Now, as we look over to our right, we have a third step. Okay, and again, this all depends on where, how this looks, how much room you have left in the river, how far you've come across. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I don't know if I would, you're only in it for 16 pips. But this is an example of a step entry. So you have your original new moon, and then a one step. Sometimes with these wide rivers, you might get 3, 4 steps, and those are some nice trades. 3, 4 positions. So, all right. I hope I adequately explained the step entry. All right, so let's move on. The CAD or the Swiss yen. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this was a new moon. Here, let me just point this. This is a good example right here. Good learning. All right, we got to go to the original new moon, right? Price came down from a sell zone, created a new buy zone. So this is where we want to. This is our the width of the river, and obviously easily made the 50%. All right, so what's the rule of thumb? For stepping, I would not get into anything above the 50%. I don't, there's times where it goes all the way and touches and breaks through, but you put yourself in that position, you roll the dice. It's a 50, 50, 90. That means 90% of the time it's a 50, 50. You're rolling the dice. But as I have shown, and will continue to show, on a new moon entry, and even your steps, don't get into a new moon or a step, and if it's past the 50% mark, that's your drop dead cutoff right there for any entries. All right, so I would not get into this step here nor here. You're past your 50%. All right, enough said there. So I'm going to turn, I think this was turned on. We're going to look for a breakout to the north, 66 pips, I guess. But the breakout to the south is a little more appealing, about 70 pips on that. So we'll go back and, you know, I think what I'll do is on the Swiss yen, again, I will, yep, let's see, Swiss yen. I'm just going to look for a buy only. All right, so I might wait a few days on this. All right, Euro Aussie is the next pair. And again, I think I didn't have that. Oh, that was a trade. Let's look at that trade. That was a nice trade for 42 pips. Well, that had to have been a breakout. Yeah, it probably was a breakout, and I don't know why I had to take profit set so high. But anyway, 42 pips. We'll take it. Next is the Euro CAD, which we have lit blue. We're looking for a trade here. And, oh, well, let's see here. Euro CAD. I must have changed that yesterday after the fact. Well, it just broke out though 2 candles ago. So why didn't this take? Gonna have to look into that. But yeah, it should have took here. Sometimes, if again, you need to look at these charts at least 2-3 times a day, overnight, when you don't see them for a couple of candles. Your charts price penetrates a supply or demand zone, a buy or sell zone, and disappears, and so the chart looks different. But anyway, we're gonna turn this off. We're gonna be looking, see what happens here. Lots of sell orders up here above. That's a lot to get through. So we're just going to wait and see what happens. Let price come up here and get back in the sell zone and see if it paints a new moon sell. All right, so we'll turn that off for right now and check it back later. All right, Euro Swiss. Again, that's just flopping around there, going sideways for the most part here. We're waiting for it to break south or break north. All right, we'll leave that turned on. Euro pound. Is that turned on? Euro pound. Oh, it's not turned on. Okay, so Euro pound, it looks like it, if you recall yesterday, if you go back and look at yesterday's update, there was a lot of stuff here, a lot of zones painted here, and it looks like price has cleared out a bunch of them. And so that looks like we'll set this for a breakout long here if it breaks this buy zone. And we won't worry about the sell right now. So we're just going to turn the Euro pound on, looking for a buy only at this time. All right, Euro yen. And again, here's another example of price coming down. Here was your new moon entry here. Your fresh sub-den coming down from a buy zone or a sell zone to a buy zone, and you had 1 step, 2 step. This step here probably would have been good for an entry maybe, but definitely not this up here. Let's map it out real quick just to confirm that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, either way, between 3 and 6, you would have gotten in there, and you would have gotten 189 pips. Not bad. And this would have been a viable step here too. Okay, so you can see it's important. Don't eyeball these things. Put on this modified um, uh, fib chart, and so you know where where you are in the river. Okay. All right. So we're just going to see what happens with this euro yen. Euro NAS is the next one. Here we had a trade for 4. This was one I think Brian put on yesterday. It gave me the green light to put it on, and he made $4.34. And this was I had the lot size tweaked down point or 20 cents a pip, and I meant to have it at $1. When I caught it, I did change it. So this went on at 20 cents a pip. So this was about a 25 pip move right here. All right, so let's clear this out. See what we got. Again, there's a step entry there, but it's wasn't it's above the 50%. So let's see. How wide is this river here? Oh, that's wide enough. Let's see. Let's go ahead and refresh this because our demarc lines are not showing. There they are. So let's go ahead and set this. Look for a short entry on the breakout here. This thing to move. Okay, so we're going to look for a short entry, and this this buy line, we're just going to level it out and throw it up here, sideline it for a while. I got a lot of force to get through here to get to a potential buy at this time. So we will turn this on. Euro NAS, looking for a sell only. All right, Euro US. Now, again, price came down from the sell zone. It bounced off a buy zone, and then this would be considered a new moon entry. All right, this is the came down and bounced, came up, and then that first subdem that it paints, or in this case, this buy zone it paints, this will be our new moon. And you can already tell it already did its 50%. This was one that we missed. That this happened before we even started this yesterday. So we'll leave it as is. Looking, we'll just see what happens. Nothing to. All right, pound Aussie. All right, this painted yesterday. This was a step, but you can see again the rule is price went up past the 50%, retrace back down. Again, once price breaks that 50%, I leave it alone. So pound Aussie, pound CAD. This is one that we're still in. Well, let me open this up or zoom in a little bit. This one here, it came back, got into profit, actually almost hit its take profit up here. But it, you can see where we got in at right here, the yellow line. We got in 1, 2, 3 candles ago, and it went into profit, and then it retraced all the way back into this buy zone. And this was, I think this was one that we set up yesterday. This was I think this was a breakout. I can't remember again. But anyway, it went back. But my point I want to make here is that it went back into the buy zone, touched it, hollowed it out, and then it went back up into profit here. Now it's retracing again. It's about break even. So this is not one to panic. This happens quite frequently. You just gotta let this thing, let the price action do its thing. Pound CAD. Let's go look at the pound Swiss. Here is a active trade that we're down 10 pips right now. Oh, I'm sorry, we're down 20 cents a pip. So we're down $10, and right now you can, oh, I'll just point this out here. Let me scrunch this down a little bit. So this was a long. Here's our take profit, our 50%. And this was an entry that Brian and I talked about yesterday at the webinar, and decided, hey, just let's take it just for giggles and see how it performs. You can see prices going pretty much sideways. It's in a range or a consolidation. I would call more of this a range than a consolidation. And but the reason why I went and did this, again, this is learning experience for you guys. I want to show what would happen if price goes down and breaks these two buy zones, and how we would rescue this out. So I've drawn a purple line in the sand right here, and if price breaks this, there is 194 pips of opportunity here, or about 100 pips of opportunity here to at least get to a break even plus a few pip points. So let's keep an eye on this one here, the pound Swiss, and make a note of that. We'll see what it looks like tomorrow and what I have done in the interim, if anything. So moving right along, pound Swiss, and now we'll look at the pound yen. Again, this is we're just waiting for something to happen here. Either break above or break below those two zones, the buy or sell zones, where the breakout lines are. Pound yen. Now let's go look at the pound NAS. Looking for a sell only on this, and again, price is just going sideways right now. And when it does break, we're looking for a break to the south. Does this mean it's going to happen? Not really, but if it does happen, we know that there's nothing holding this price action up from dropping at least 50% down. So there's 235 pips of opportunity there. All right, so we're waiting on the pound NAS. Pound US, same thing, just waiting. And NAS CAD. Okay, NAS CAD here. Now here's an example here. Price coming up from a buy zone. It's not coming down from a sell, it's coming up from a buy zone, and it painted a new moon. Now, I did not get into this because of what? Look at all these buy orders. Again, remember what supply and demand is. It's a representation of suspected buy orders. Did some found some good articles last night. I'll have to share them with you on the Forex Factory forum on supply, the difference between supply and demand, and support and resistance, how they're not the same, but they kind of play off each other. But this is a lot of buy orders to get through. So, again, we're looking for a wide river here. This is just a little creek right here. There's nothing here. So you would not get into this. All right. You just allow price to come, see what it does, and let it create its own river. That's just a lot of garbage right now. So the only thing that we will look for is, again, a long. And I think that NASCAD is turned on for long. If it's not, we will. Yep. NASCAD is turned on for a long. All right. NAS Swiss. I don't think this right here was valid, and we're going to move this up to here. And again, this is kind of the same situation. Let's see how much how wide of a river we have here. 30 pips. Yeah, we're going to leave the NAS Swiss alone, let it clear out. And it's turned off. NAS Yen, looking for a sell. And there you go. Here was, again, a example of a step, price coming down, new moon entry. So we're going to mark off here, and we don't take anything above the 50%. Look at that. So again, proving the new moon entry is the best. 50%, 99.9% of the time. Nice stuff, man, I'm telling you. All right, NAS Yen. Let's move on to the NAS US. All right. This is a long stepping process. You can see price has been stepping up, stepping up, stepping up. And so what would you do? Let's find out where price came down from. And again, you don't know, when price comes down, it's clearing out all these buy zones as it comes off the sell zone. So it's creating a wide gulf. All right. So here was the new moon right here. So we would map out here. This is a good example of showing how much potential there is in step entries. So you would get in here in your new moon entry. That's one, and there's your 50%, right? So, well, you got one step entry here, and again, price never hit up and back into this area of the buy zone and retreated back. It's the whole time it's coming up. So these entries over here are invalid. We'll come across one where you see a nice wide river and multiple steps for additional entries. So back to case in point here in the NAS US. We are waiting still for a breakout to the north or a breakout to the south. So we'll make sure that's turned on again. NAS US, it is. And moving on to the US CAD. Almost done, guys. 3 left. I hope this is, I find this exciting, and I hope you do too, because what you're seeing here is opportunity to make a few dollars. And how can you not get excited about that? US CAD. This is really not 50 pips. I don't know. Is that worth it? 25 pips, maybe. But definitely coming up to the north here, going long, 130 pips. So you're looking at 75, 70, somewhere in 68 pips. It's a good. So we'll see what we got this US CAD turned on to. US CAD. We'll just leave it as a buy or a sell. No, I'm going to leave it as a buy. I'm going to change it to a buy only. That 50 pip river, that's only a 25% reward or 25 pip reward. I don't know if it's worth the risk. US Swiss, 2 more. Here's one that we're in, and where are we at? There's our take profit. This has a nice travel down. This will be a total of about 87 pip reward once price gets there, but you can see what has it been doing. It's just going sideways. All right. But where do I get my confidence that it's going to go down? Look what's above it. All those buy or all those sell orders above, and look below. So you tell me. If this was a scale, where is it going? It's going down. All right, and then finally the US yen, and that's like in the middle, no man's land still. All right, so that completes the process of going through the charts for today. And let's go and look at our overall big picture here. We're in 1, 2, 3, 4 trades. We've taken a total of 6 trades for a cycle profit and loss of $46. And we're just going to call it 46 pips right now, even though we had a couple trades that were traded at 20 cents a pip. And we, again, this is just for training purposes. So not bad for the first 24 hours. So that will complete today's updates. I'll get this loaded up for your review. And you guys have a good day, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye.